So today's video is actually part 2 to my last week's video, which is all about how to stop being addicted to productivity. Last week's video is more about, why it's just negative, why it's bad, the addiction. And today we are going to be talking about the 5 steps that you can actually take to rewire yourself or to stop being so addicted to productivity. And let me just get this very clear. I'm not telling you to not be productive anymore. It's the addiction part that we are working on, because addiction to anything just has a negative, bad result. Hello and welcome to We Wear Wellness, where we talk about mindset, spirituality, mental health, self-improvement, and more. Basically everything that helps you be a better version of you, because I fervently believe that we are on this journey, and it's just it's not like there's an end destination to the best perfect version of you. It's just a series of learning curves. Sometimes we go down, sometimes we go super high, and this channel is just here to help you navigate that, because I feel like we all need some sort of extra love and support, and I hope that this channel gives that to you. And if there's any topics that you want me to talk about, please put them in the comments, or anything that you have questions about, any concerns or just feedback, put it in the comments. Let me know. I want to have this conversation with you. I just really feel like, especially with the pandemic and everything, people we need love, we need support, we need to be there for each other, and also just feel like we're connected, and we can do that via the internet. So let's stay connected. Let's start those conversations that maybe we can't have anymore as much outside our houses because of what's going on in the world. So that's that. And if you do like these videos, if you like this type of content, then do subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I am a new YouTuber, very small channel, so every little bit counts, every little bit helps me. So put a like on the video if you like it, subscribe to my content so that you can see more of it, and then YouTube will also be pushing me out to other people who might be able to benefit from this content, because I really do hope this adds value. And if it doesn't, let me know in the comments. So let's begin. Okay, tell me if you relate to this. You have a long to-do list full of tasks, maybe it's digital or on a notepad, and you're just rushing through them, crossing the tasks off day by day. In between, if you do anything, like if you just take a break to watch a movie or pick up the phone and talk to a friend or read a book, these simple things, you feel guilty. You feel like you wasted time, and that stresses you out and makes you, rush even more the next day, and it feels like you're just behind. What's the point? What is the end result? See, the thing is that if you watched my last video, part 1, you can go watch that right now or after this, whatever you like. We talked about how productivity can become an addiction, and no addiction is good, because every addiction, even if it's to a good thing like being productive, it has a negative result, because you are relying on it. You have given your power to this thing now, and if you don't do this thing, you are like you're going to spiral down to negative. You're not just going to go to normal. It's like, this is normal, and then the addiction gives you that slight high, but instead of going back to normal, when you don't get that high, you go down. That's the harm of addiction, right? And scientifically, research has shown, psychologists have shown that productivity can be an addiction, because every time you cross off that item off a to-do list, or you do something as an accomplishment, your brain releases dopamine. It feels rewarded, and that's exactly what happens when you are addicted to something. It's the same chemical reaction. So what can the negative result be of this? This can, obviously, if you're just always hustling, always trying to be more productive, you're addicted to productivity, then it can really take over your entire life. And when you don't take any breaks, if you don't slow down at all, it's going to lead to burnout, which leads to depression, anxiety. It affects your performance, it makes you less productive, and it affects your mental health and your personal life in general as well. Is this you? Are you really, really aware when you are doing something unproductive, or when you're wasting time? Do you feel guilty about it? Do you criticize yourself? Do you beat yourself up like, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure, or I always waste time, or I'm just never productive, I can never do anything right? Things like that. Is your number one topic of conversation just about how busy you are, or how crazy life is, how you have so much to do? Your friend calls up and she's like, how are you? And you're like, I'm so busy. And that's your thing. That's what you say. I'm so busy. Do you feel like hustling sounds impressive, whereas doing less or choosing to do less sounds lazy? Do you feel guilty when you have left something on your to-do list, or when you've done something less than what your to-do list says? Or you feel like you're constantly awake at night thinking about all the stress? If you relate to these, maybe one or maybe two, maybe all of them, then these are signs that you are probably addicted to productivity. This is not necessarily your fault or your doing. It's really the conditioning that the society around has put on us, because we are rewarded by what we do in this world. We do more, we get more. But that's not always the case. And we can look at examples of people who do less and maybe are rewarded more. Maybe they make more money. You can think of celebrities, maybe, or a business owner, or somebody else you look up to who does less but has more materialistically, maybe you could say, or somebody who does less and is happier. You can also look at that side of the coin. Maybe people who have less than you, maybe they don't even have 3 meals a day, or maybe they don't have a pantry full of snacks, but they're still happy. So there's just all these different sides that you can look at to show that, what society's been telling you, or what schools told you, or your parents have told you, or your neighborhood has told you, is not always necessarily true. It's not black or white. So anyways, now we are entering the juicy part of the video, where we will be talking about the five things that you can do if you have related to what I previously mentioned. If you feel like you might be addicted to productivity, 5 things that you can do to help yourself detach and de-addict yourself. I don't know if that's a word, but whatever, to de-addict yourself. Maybe it's like a rehab for productivity. I don't know. But yeah, and again, I want to make it clear, I'm not telling you to be less productive, or, sacrifice your goals, or just not do anything and be lazy. No, we're talking about the addiction. Okay. So let's get started. The first thing is pretty simple. It's just reminding yourself that your personal life is as important as your work life. Enjoying life is as important as getting your work done, or hustling. And that might sound like, oh, it's okay to be lazy. And no, there's a distinction. It's not about being lazy. It's about really, enjoying what the world has to offer you, enjoying the little things in life, the beauty in, nature outside, in a hot cup of coffee, in your favorite dessert, the beauty in, a song playing, any of these things. These are as important too, because otherwise, what's the point of hustling and working, right? What's the point of that? Just to remind yourself also that you did not come to earth just to pay bills. You are here to have fun, to soak in everything that the world has to offer. Like I just said, you're here to enjoy that. And it's just a constant reminder, reminding yourself. And this is really easy or simple, but it's not really easy necessarily, because you have to keep reminding yourself. But you can use some affirmations to say, to remind yourself, and that could be as something like, I deserve to enjoy the world, or I deserve to enjoy life. I do not need to earn the right to be happy. I think that's a really powerful one. So yeah, that's the first step. So the second step is to avoid basing your happiness on productivity or achievements, like how productive you were today, or everything you got done, or your promotion, or whatever else it might be. Celebrate the successes that you have as you go to your goal. So let's say today you had 3 tasks in mind that you wanted to get done, and maybe usually you just celebrate when you finish those tasks, or maybe you never celebrate, because after those 3 tasks are done, you just think about the next one, and you never stop to do that. So rather than doing that, celebrate on the way. Celebrate while you're doing your task. Enjoy that moment. Have a little dance party with yourself while you're doing the task, or as soon as you're done with task number 1. And another way to look at this is not to just wait for achieving the goal. So maybe you wanted to make your first sale in your business, and you will only celebrate then. Well, rather than having that sort of mindset where it's you are only going to be satisfied or happy when you achieve that one thing, learn to be satisfied and be happy, inculcate that feeling within as you are going along that journey. So every day finding things that are happy, trying to inculcate that feeling of happiness. Don't let your happiness depend on the goal. Let it be a separate thing. Let yourself be happy today just because, and work towards that goal. on the side. I have actually another video that's like very extensively, I talk about this, separating your goal from your happiness and why you should do that. I'll link it in the description below. It's on Instagram actually. That's number 2. Separate your achievements or your productivity with your happiness. And I think a lot of people ask me, how do I celebrate myself? And that can be as simple as playing your favorite music, or taking a break to go watch the sunset, or go have coffee, whatever, that little something that you don't usually do for yourself because you're so caught up in being productive. Do it anyway. Do it even if you haven't done anything today. Yeah, I just said that. The third step here is to avoid basing your self-worth on productivity. So remind yourself that you are worthy no matter what. You are worthy. Like I spoke about this in part 1, my last week's video. But just because you didn't get everything done on your to-do list today, or that you weren't as productive as you hoped, doesn't make you any less of a person, or any less of a unique human being who deserves love and who is worthy of taking up space and existing and being happy. You don't need to prove your worth. You already are worthy. And when you realize that, it changes the game. Then you realize you don't have to chase after productivity. You can just do it because you want to. It's like you don't need a person in a relationship. It's sort of like that. If you're dating somebody, you don't want to need them. You want to just want them. You want to be in that relationship because you want that. But you are completely whole and perfect and awesome by yourself, even without that person. But you want that person because that person adds joy to your life, or makes your life even better, makes it fun. So the same way, it's like working towards your goals should be that extra light, that extra fun, that extra burst of happiness, not something that you need to prove yourself, because you don't need to prove to anybody anything. You are awesome. Remind yourself that. But you can also just remind yourself every day of like 4 to 5 things that you love about yourself. You can just say, I am amazing at drinking coffee. I'm amazing at making coffee. I'm a great artist. I am funny, and I don't judge people. Wow, I'm an awesome person. Say 5 things every day that you love about yourself, or that you're learning to like about yourself, and build your self-worth like that, because you already are worthy. So the 4th tip is to be present. See, when we are, feeling guilty about not being productive, we're either focusing on the past, like, oh, what you did was less, or focusing on the future, like stressing out about what you need to be doing next, or, if you don't do XYZ, then something terrible will happen. You're always in the past or the future. So by being more present, you will be able to slow down and just focus on the present moment. Have you done your best today, right now? Yes? Then that's great. And if not, be honest with yourself. Maybe then you need to be a little more self-disciplined and just, get to work a little bit more, push yourself a tiny bit, and do it. It's not pushing yourself when you've already done your best and you're maxed out, but you're still stressing about everything else you need to do in the future. So that's the future, or something that you didn't do in the past, which is the past. So that's why coming back to the present moment can really, really help. And this also ties into, maybe if you're feeling sick or tired, or just you're feeling blah, again, show yourself that compassion and be present in this moment, and assess, okay, how much energy do you truly have? What can you truly do to your best ability? Do that and feel accomplished for doing that much. It's okay. Again, being present means, shifting your goals according to what is happening in the moment. You can't always predict everything in the future. You can't plan your perfect day. I mean, you can plan it, but you can't guarantee that's going to happen. Your energy levels change, your emotions are affected. That's why I talk so much about, healing your emotional energy and your emotional side, so that you can be productive, because that does affect your productivity. There's so many variables, so many things can happen today or tomorrow or day after that you can't really predict and put into a perfect to-do list. And so, that's why you have to be present. Look at the to-do list you've already written for today, and assess, be flexible with what you can actually get done today, how you can feel accomplished, and do it in a loving manner where you're not like beating yourself up or overworking yourself or pushing yourself to some bad, harmful limits. So the 5th tip is to practice being unproductive. I know that sounds crazy, but we as productivity addicts are always chasing productivity. So to unlearn that addiction, we have to practice being unproductive. even if it makes us feel guilty, or even if we don't want to be unproductive. It's facing that resistance and beating it anyway. So practice doing things that are not necessarily productive. So you might schedule a time for relaxation every day, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. And to start off, it can be something very basic, like after 6 p.m. you won't do work. That's pretty easy, right? You have the whole day to be super productive. And so when you schedule that, after 6 p.m., even if you're tempted, don't look at your phone or your laptop or think about text messages, or not think about work or look at text messages. You might feel guilty, you might feel anxious or like uneasy, like, okay, you know, I should be doing something, I should be doing something productive, I should be, you know, even if I'm not working, maybe I should do something productive like work out, or maybe I should, you know, do some chores. No, just do something relaxing, take a bubble bath, or go for a walk. Or the best, actually, what really, really helped me when I was really struggling to deal with my productivity addiction was to practice doing nothing. And this is crazy, but I would literally just sit and watch the sun, like the sunlight in the particles, and be like, wow, this is amazing. I have never stopped and slowed down so much. And it was so powerful. It was so healing. You cannot imagine. Or just going outside and sitting and just watching like nature exist and happen and live around you. It's so healing, and because you suddenly snap out of all this anxiety and to-do list and all that mode, and you feel free and you truly start healing. And at first it is very uncomfortable. So if you feel that way, you know, embrace it. Know that that means you're on the right direction and you're growing and you're healing parts of yourself, okay? Because anything that becomes a habit or an addiction is now your new comfort zone. So when you step out of your comfort zone, it's going to be uncomfortable. So just practice doing that. Take out time every single day where you are going to do something that is not productive. All right, and as it gets easier, practice maybe adding those little bits of relaxation during your day as well, so that you can take a break. Because trust me, that actually helps with your productivity. If you work you know, for like an hour, then take a 15-minute break, it's going to help you work a lot better the next hour. So take that break, that relaxation break, or that unproductive break, because it's going to help you. And the point is really to disconnect that feeling of guilt, though, or that need to be productive. So these are my tips for you today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope they really help you. Do let me know what you start trying to do in your life, how you are, you know, going to heal this addiction to productivity, or maybe you don't feel like you're addicted, but maybe you just feel like you really do chase it and you want to slow down a little bit more. But yeah, let me know. What do you think? Are you somebody who is constantly trying to be more productive? Do you feel like it's a good thing, a bad thing? And just, you know, tell me your thoughts. And of course, if you do like this video, then like it, and subscribe to this channel, and share this with a friend actually who you think might be struggling with constantly being busy or always being productive, and they're just not, like, you know, being able to enjoy their life. They're almost wasting their life by just hustling and running down this hamster wheel, like running on the hamster wheel round and round and round. But, you know, slow down, step out of it, and then take steps forward that actually get you somewhere, not just like the hamster wheel that goes around. Anyways, I think I've said a lot, so I love you all. Oh, I do have one thing I want to tell you, is that I have beautiful affirmations for you. They are free to download. They're stunning. I personally love them. So if you want that, the link is also in the description. You can just download for free. So yeah, that's my gift for you guys, because I love you all. And that's about it. So take care, and we will see you next time.